Okay, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure every single investor has felt at some point. You know that feeling? That pit in your stomach when the market turns against you and you get that powerful urge to just sell everything? It's a near universal experience. So in this explainer, we're going to get to the bottom of why it happens and how to fight it. Oh yeah, you know the feeling. The market drops hard, your portfolio is just a sea of red, and every headline is screaming doom. And then suddenly, this one thought just completely takes over your brain. It's this visceral, urgent command to just get out. And what's so wild is that in the heat of the moment, it doesn't feel like an emotional reaction, does it? It feels urgent. It feels logical. It even feels like the only necessary thing to do to protect yourself. But here's the tough part. Despite how right it feels, acting on that impulse, it's often one of the most costly mistakes an investor can possibly make. That's why it's so important to understand how our own brains can push us in the exact wrong direction. And that's exactly what we're going to cover. We'll break down the psychology behind the panic, and then we'll walk through a clear, actionable plan to help you take back control when that fear starts to creep in. So, let's start with a clear definition. Because once you really understand what panic selling is, you realize it has less to do with financial markets and almost everything to do with psychology. At its core, panic selling is simply this. It's making a major financial decision based entirely on fear, not on a predetermined, rational strategy. You know, it's an impulse, not a plan. And this really illustrates the key difference perfectly. A rational strategy is like your ship. It's something you build in a calm moment with a long-term destination in mind. A panic sell? That's just you, in a tiny boat, getting tossed around by a storm. The two are worlds apart. So what lights the fuse? Well, it's usually one of these external events, a big market crash, a sudden sharp drop in a stock you own, or just a constant flood of scary-sounding news headlines. These are the sparks that can ignite a full-blown panic. So those are the external sparks. But to really get why the explosion happens, we need to look inward. What are these psychological triggers that turn all that market volatility into a personal panic? It really boils down to just a handful of powerful psychological forces. You've got the simple fear of losing more money, a cognitive bias called loss aversion, all that media noise, the pressure of seeing everyone else sell, and maybe the biggest one of all, not having a solid plan in the first place. Let's break down a couple of the biggest ones. Let's start with a really powerful cognitive bias called loss aversion. Psychologists have actually proven that the pain of losing money feels roughly twice as strong as the pleasure of gaining the same amount. This is huge. It means when your portfolio is down, your brain isn't just suggesting you sell, it's screaming, "Stop the pain," far, far louder than it ever cheers for your gains. Then you pile the media noise on top of that. During a downturn, the headlines get more and more dramatic. You see this everywhere. And then this, and it creates this constant sense of emergency that just amplifies that internal feeling of fear. So, after being bombarded with headlines like this over and over again, it starts to feel like selling isn't just an option, it's the only sane response. This constant noise directly messes with your ability to make good decisions. So we get the psychology, but what's the actual tangible damage here? Let's talk about the real cost of panic selling, because it hurts you in two very distinct and pretty devastating ways. You see, when the market drops, the loss you see in your portfolio is, at that point, just on paper. It's a temporary, unrealized decline. But the moment you panic, you make it real. By hitting that sell button, you turn a temporary, on-paper decline into a permanent, real-world loss. You have to remember this. The market drop doesn't realize your loss. You do when you sell. And here's the second part of that 1-2 punch. Not only do you lock in your losses at or near the bottom, but now you're sitting on the sidelines. This means you almost always miss the inevitable market recovery that follows, which, by the way, is often where the biggest gains are made. You sell low, and then you miss the chance to ride the wave back up. All right, so that's the problem. Let's talk about the solution. How do you actually fight this urge? Well, it all comes down to building discipline before the panic sets in. And here is a 6-step plan to help you do just that. Look, this whole plan is about being proactive. First, have a plan. Know why you're investing and what your goals are before you put a single dollar in. Second, think long-term. Anchor your decisions to your 5 or 10-year goal, not today's price action. Third, limit how often you check your portfolio. This one's tough, I know, but the more you look, the more emotional you'll get, so set a schedule and stick to it. Fourth, Expect declines. Market drops aren't a surprise. They're a normal part of investing. If you mentally prepare for them, they get a lot less scary. Fifth, manage your risk. Diversify your portfolio so no single drop can wipe you out. And finally, when you feel that fear creeping in, just pause. Give yourself 24 hours before you make any rash decisions. Together, these steps build a really powerful defense against panic. Ultimately, all of these steps lead to one fundamental change in how you think about investing. It's a complete mindset shift, really. You're moving away from trying to avoid fear and toward learning how to manage it. In this slide shows that shift perfectly. The novice investor asks, how can I avoid losses? But that's impossible, right? The experienced investor asks a much better question. Okay, since losses are inevitable, what is my plan to handle them when they show up? Because at the end of the day, that's what separates successful long-term investors from everyone else. It isn't about having a perfect track record or never seeing a downturn. Success is determined almost entirely by your behavior and your discipline during those tough times. And this is the final thought I really want to leave you with. Investing success isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling that fear and sticking to your plan anyway. It's not about avoiding the emotion. It's about controlling your reaction to it. And that's the key.